Most women dream of the moment when the man they love drops to one knee. For me, it was the moment my life turned into a psychological thriller. As Mark sat there, telling me I was his entire world and the only woman he could ever imagine a future with, all I could think about was the burner phone currently hidden in the lining of my purse. He was about to ask me to spend the rest of my life with him. But I already knew that for the last 6 months, he had been living a second life with someone else. Mark was the guy every mother wanted for their daughter. Architect, volunteer at the animal shelter, the man who remembered my coffee order and the anniversary of the day we first met. We had been together for 4 years. We shared a mortgage, a dog named Buster, and what I thought were the same dreams. But 3 weeks ago, the mask slipped. It wasn't a lipstick stain or a late-night text. It was a banking error. A joint account statement arrived at our house while Mark was on a business trip to Chicago. Only, the statement showed 3 consecutive charges at a high-end jewelry store in London, a city he supposedly hadn't visited in years. When I logged into our shared cloud, I found a folder I'd never seen before. It wasn't just a fling. It was a whole other woman. A woman he had already married in a secret ceremony in another country. I didn't confront him. Not yet. I needed to know how deep the rabbit hole went. I hired a private investigator with my own savings. What he found made my blood run cold. Mark wasn't just a bigamist, he was a con artist. He had been using our joint savings, the money I earned as a senior developer, to fund a luxury lifestyle for a woman named Elena in London. He told her he was a high-stakes international consultant. He told me he was a hard-working architect. Every time he stayed late at the office. He was on a video call with her. Every weekend conference. He was on a flight. He was planning to move her to the States, into a house he was buying with my credit score. And tonight, this proposal wasn't about love. It was the final step in his plan to legally bind our assets so he could drain me dry. He took me to the rooftop of the hotel where we had our first date. The city lights were shimmering. He had hired a violinist, off my money of course. Everything was meticulously choreographed to make me feel overwhelmed with emotion. He started his speech, the one about how I saved him, how I was the anchor of his soul, disgusting liar. I sat there, watching him perform. I looked at his eyes, searching for a glimmer of guilt. There was none. He was a professional. When he finally dropped to one knee and opened that box, the crowd around us started to cheer. "Say yes," a woman at the next table whispered. I felt the weight of the burner phone in my purse. On that phone was a group chat I had created an hour ago. The members. Me, Mark, and Elena. I reached into my bag. Mark smiled, thinking I was reaching for a tissue to wipe away tears of joy. Instead, I pulled out the phone and hit send on a pre-drafted message. It was a photo of him on his knee at that very second, sent to Elena with the caption, "He's proposing to me now. Does he use the same lines on you?" Then, I turned the phone screen toward him. I watched his face transition from smug confidence to pure, unadulterated terror. His phone, sitting on the table, started vibrating violently. It was a FaceTime call from London. I picked it up and hit accept before he could move. Elena's face appeared, her eyes red from crying. She was holding a marriage certificate. The restaurant went dead silent. I didn't scream. I didn't throw a drink. I simply stood up. "The ring is beautiful, Mark," I said, my voice carrying across the rooftop. "But I think Elena's name is already on the insurance policy for the one you bought her last month." I looked at the crowd, then back at the man who had spent 4 years hollowed out by lies. "Keep the ring. You're going to need to sell it to pay for the lawyers I just hired to sue you for fraud." I walked out of that restaurant without looking back. As the elevator doors closed, I could hear the sounds of the crowd turning on him. He had spent years building a perfect life, and I had dismantled it in exactly 60 seconds. They say love is blind, but betrayal gives you 20/20 vision. Mark is currently facing multiple fraud charges, and Elena and we're actually in touch. We realized we weren't enemies, we were both his victims. Have you ever had a gut feeling that saved you from a disaster? Or have you ever found out someone was living a double life? Let's talk in the comments. Your story might just save someone else from making a lifelong mistake. Be sure to follow for more exciting stories.